You are now listening to Handsome Reads. Hey, what's up, gang? What's up, fam? What's up, loved ones, newcomers, the day ones? I just wanted to start off today's episode by giving you the gentle reminder that it is okay to have a million people doubting you, so long as you are not one of them. So, that being said, greetings. Welcome back to another episode of Handsome Reads with your handsome, esteemed host, 𝐵𝐷𝐄 Obasi. Thrilled to read to you another episode of Army of Sin. Today, as mentioned at the last episode, we will be introducing some new characters to you with an episode titled Green Grass All Around. This episode is set in the Aegean Sea on the tiny island of Porus. Enjoy. E! E! A voice called softly from the vicinity of the doorway, followed by the sound of denim sliding against denim as the speaker entered the room. Come on, bud. Time to wake up. We have to get your day started. Soft lips pressed against cool skin as a hand rested between lax shoulder blades before moving upwards to an ear. It's after 12, bud. You told me not to let you sleep past 11. Tisk, tisk. Finally some peace and quiet, Evangeline thought drowsily. Son of a... she exclaimed as the afternoon sun hit her half-closed eyes directly, forcing her to squint in anger. I told you to get up, said the voice near the curtains belonging to her tormentor, who sometimes went by the alias Mona. You could be a real asshole sometimes, Mons, Evangeline huffed. Love you too, bud, Mona threw over her shoulder, thick, shapely legs pouring her departure out of the room. Man, that woman had a body to die for, Evangeline thought, with open appreciation as she did almost every time her best friend left the room. Rubbing her eyes, she maintained her squint, groping along the wall until she reached the shaded confines of her bathroom. The cold splash of water against her face was enough to get her neurons firing again, ears sharpening as her body woke. In the vicinity, she heard a jumble of sounds: Rihanna's breakout single, Pondy Replay, Mona's alto accompaniment, and the underlying sizzle of a pot. This far away from her native land, the sounds on Mona's playlist were one of the few things that had her feeling even remotely akin to the Caribbean. That, and the home-cooked meals she actually managed to stomach these days. Her model figure was still maintained, but at least those horrible bulimic convulsions were behind her. Shaking off the nostalgic memory, begging for attention, she went up on her toes in a stretch that cracked both shoulders as well as her left knee before stepping into the vast spread she called a shower. E? I'm in the shower, she called over the drum of water in her ears. Okay, just making sure you didn't fall asleep, Mona teased. Evangeline snorted, turning to catch her friend's gaze. As if you'd even let her, sister. What are friends for? Mona said with a sigh. What is it? Evangeline asked, hearing something off in her friend's voice. Eyes closed as she soaped her face. Just appreciating a good body is all. Girl, I would kill for a body like yours. What madness you talking in my head? It felt positively amazing to be able to slip into the dialect of her mother tongue, dropping the polished veneer of an English aristocrat for the sing-song rhythm of the Caribbean. Mona laughed softly, heart warming at the blessing that she could converse with a rare, genuine female friend. Uh, which one of us is one of the most sought after models in the world again? Nobody don't give a ass about that shit. We both know their perception of beauty is all the way messed up. Mommy would have rinsed your mouth with soap for that kind of language. The two friends stared in silence at each other for a pregnant pause before bursting into a fit of laughter. In between gasps, Evangeline managed to get out, and she had the most foul mouth of them all. Don't want you all using this kind of language, eh? I want respectable ladies, Mona mocked, heavy breaths shifting with each laugh as she doubled over. I not able, yes? Evangeline replied, wiping tears of laughter as she stepped from the shower, glad to hear the laughter had returned to her friend's voice. Gosh, I miss her. Me too, girl. I know she's proud of us, though, she replied, hugging her friend briefly before heading over to her underwear closet. Be out in a sec. Cool, Mona replied, falling into song with Bob Marley's War, unaware of eyes fixed on the bounce of her toned buttocks, powerful legs, and shapely calves. Yep, to die for, all right, Evangeline thought. Evangeline skimmed her underwear drawer for a pair of comfortable panties, smiling as she held up a pair of Victoria's Secret. She sighed at the pleasant feel of the material as it nestled against her skin. Shrugging into a worn-out jersey from her Florida International University days that flared just above her navel, she took a look in the mirror. Light brown eyes stared back with a big, curly afro that was just too much to comb. She had small, perky breasts and a flat stomach and waist. Evangeline thought her legs were okay, toned and lean, but not boasting as much mass as Mona's. Turning to the side, she flashed a small smile at the improvement she finally began seeing to her butt after agreeing to take Mona on as a fitness instructor. Giving her rump a light tap, she blew herself a kiss before turning away. A far cry from the 15-year-old who hurled up everything before it could touch her stomach. Water dripped from her hair with each step as she danced her way into the kitchen, joining Mona as they sang the next tune on the iPod's playlist, Bungie Garland's Differentology. Nighttime fell quietly in this part of the world, twinkling lights and waning sunset the only indication. There were no crickets, no revelry, there was only peace. Evangeline lounged in the welcome softness of a beanbag chair, glass of wine in one hand as she curled the other in the thick, healthy mass of her hair. During dinner, the mood had changed to the jazz now emanating from Mona's Bluetooth speaker. Evangeline sat with her thoughts, a sip of wine, just the tip of a finger away, while Mona took her daily evening run along the coast. How do people do it? She asked, the whole relationship thing. Girl asked me an easier question. And then younger Mona responded with a laugh. I can't even imagine what it must be like for someone like you, Evangeline replied. Someone like me? A thick eyebrow raised. You know, a girl that likes girls. Wait, you mean you've never had a boyfriend? Someone to make your toes curl? Mona held a hand placed over her breast in mock horror. It's not all that it's cracked up to be, Evangeline waved off, rolling her eyes as Mona choked on her words. It's all about a connection for me, really. The touching comes after. And within 2 weeks, I can size up if a person of interest, personality, boy or girl. If they can kick it, cool, we can hang. If not, Mona trailed off. In the semesters they had spent together, Evangeline knew neither subtle nor sugarcoating existed in her roommate's vocabulary. You don't want this life, Mona offered softly. I want to experience the kind of love I see. People walking the streets, holding hands and sharing everything, Evangeline replied. What you see are just really broken hearts wrapped in pretty paper. E! Mona's voice came in bursts. Sweat slick skin caught in the light as she took sips from her bottle of water. Yeah, Evangeline responded, nothing but admiration in her gaze. The train of her flashback thoughts derailed for now. Everything cool? Yeah, for sure. How was your run? Not bad. 1 second outside of my best time, Mona shrugged, dabbing at the sweat that still sprouted before looking up, gaze now serious. We got work to discuss. I just got a call from Andre. Making a face at the mention of the photographer's name, Evangeline finished off the last sip of her wine before coming to a stand. Go shower. I'll be ready. Good, the other woman replied, a sports bra clinging to her skin, sweat droplets still running down the small of her back. Pores open to the night's kiss. A half an hour and a shower later, the smell of peppermint moisturizer announced Mona's presence in the living room. Like her best friend, she was also comfortably clad, this time in baggy flannels and a tank top. In her hand, she carried a tablet, cell phone, and a fresh bottle of wine. This one, her preferred white. Ready to talk business? Mona asked, assuming her role of Evangeline's manager. Yup, Evangeline replied, leaning forward as her BFF took the seat across from her. Great. As usual, we have the annual shoot in Marseille. That's the 4-day. Then we have a 1-day shoot. That's the one I mentioned in passing. Rounding it off is a small shoot in a village not too far from the harbor. You had me up until the village shoot. It's a small medieval vibe. Andre and I think it'd go great with your skill set. Oh, Andre and I, is it? Evangeline mocked. What the hell would I be doing in some archaic village in God knows where? France? The money is good. Is that all we're doing this for? Money? That plus the attention? Yeah. You're a striking beauty. We need to utilize that. Hold up. You are also a striking beauty, Evangeline interrupted. Lasts forever. Wait, what was that? It won't last forever, Mona repeated, straight-faced. Jerk. Brat. Hearty laughter stained the air once more as the two women, both in their mid-20s, shared in a banter that was hard for outsiders to understand. Flying out around midday tomorrow, so you should get some rest. Will do. But what about you? Still have some last-minute calls to make and wrap up sending some emails. Cool. Don't stay up too late, Evangeline advised. Sure thing, Mom, Mona snorted, picking up her datapad before heading to the porch. As she headed towards the bedrooms, Evangeline heard Mona laugh with whoever on the phone. Green grass was everywhere in her life. Everywhere but here, she thought, looking down at her feet. End of episode. Well, my dear friends, I do hope that yet another introduction to new characters, Evangeline, also known as E, and her manager, Mona, has piqued your interest. I mean, I know we haven't really dived into the chaos as yet. But I just want you to know that chaos is on its way. Until next time, continue taking good care of yourself. And as always, love and light.